All right, we have the leather reek applied to all of the ancillaries of the door, and I wanted to show you the fade that's gone on here in the Arizona sun that we have here. Here's the color, much lighter than here behind the pocket. Carpet is a much deeper color in our dye, much more characteristically reflects that. And I want to show you the amount of color. Look at here is the original carpet that was hidden, and look at how it's been cleaned and bleached or something just terribly, and it's really way out of color. That's what the Arizona sun has done to the interior, and we're going to bring all right, with the seats out, I'm taking all the panels out also and re-dyeing them, treating them with the leather ink also. You can see all the fade and the color is gone from the Arizona sun, but we're going to refresh it and get it back together. Now the door panel is held on by 4 fastener groups. One of them is the door lock. This has a Phillips head. The other is the handle group with its heavy-duty fasteners. The second is the bolster group, and then you have the peripheral group of screws on the exterior, and it's all hung with an overlapping edge here. So let's move to the first one, and that is the simple door lock. With a Phillips head screwdriver firmly inserted in, pushing down and rotate it all the way and remove it out. Unscrew it, remove it, and then place it in a bag for safekeeping. The next easiest is the bolster. Since most of the bolts attach it to the door card, all we need to do is release the pull connection, and that's with a cabled fork, and you can see the retaining clip. Use a flathead screwdriver and pop that up. It's a collar with a rotating. All right, difficult to do and film at the same time, but there's a rotating clip that's popped up, and that has your clevis pivot on it. We'll pull it inboard and out, and that will free it up. Now we also can see that down in the hole there's a slot and then a larger hole inside, so we need to thread the cable forward and out of that. So not only do we need to release the fork, but we need to thread the cable forward and out of the retaining clip before it can be free from the door. Stop action, I'm pushing the clevis clip out and almost have it out of the last fork. And now the retaining clip has been separated from the fork. All right, the first step was to release the clevis pin, and then the second was to get it off the perch, and you can see the cable with the hole and the travel slot forward that is to the right. We've now separated the cable from its holder, and the bolster is free to be removed with the door card. So our second of our 4 steps is earned. Now let's move to the pull handle. All right, our pull handle has some hidden compartments. We need to release the 2 screws on this hidden compartment, and then forward here we have a hidden compartment there, which will reveal the securing bolts for the door. We have to be careful. We have a couple controls here. We have the window controls, we have the mirror controls, and we have the light here too. So that's going to take a little bit of trickery and making sure no wires get absolutely pulled when we remove the handle. So once these screws for the panel are removed, and each of them, gently use a flathead screwdriver or a plastic pry tool to remove the panel. So once the panels are removed, bag them and put them in a bag with all of the fasteners. Remember, there are cup washers for each of these 4 screws. Now we can get to the proper heavy duty, the 3 Phillips head cap bolts that hold the bolster onto the door. Use your large screwdriver and start removing them, and note how tightly they are back on the door. They're not actually super tight. I think it's about, less than 10 foot-pounds of pressure that was tightened, but they're very large screws, so remove them. And note that the 2 down here will have a different size than the single one up here. Now remove the top bolt. I'm keeping one down below as a stay because we're going to have to deal with the electricals. I'm not sure how to disconnect some of them. They don't all have quick disconnect connectors, so we'll see what we're dealt with and try not to stress any electricals. Here's a quick comparison. The upper bolt is much longer than the lower bolt. So with a large pair of needle nose pliers, remove the connectors from both the mirrors and the door locks, making sure you took a couple pictures ahead of time, making till you're absolutely certain what colors go where. Now, it's still a little bit sticky here. The handle's almost ready to come out. Wiggle the handle free and pull it from there. We see that the wire bundle needs to slip out from the back here. And we have two more connections for the light right up there. All right, wiggle the light bulb out and disconnect its two connections. Once you disconnect it, it's going to be quite warm. So set it off to the side before you put it in a plastic bag and thread these wires out to release the handle from the door. All right, so finally we can get to our last connector, the green one, and this is for the mirror remote control. So let's get our long nose pliers, needle nose pliers, and pull that out. So with that removed, fish it out and remove the handle from the door. So our last attach point are the peripheral screws on the door. Wow, we can already see some fade in the color. Look at that. So the first 4 Phillips screws are going to be here at the carpet panel. So let's remove those. Remember, they have cups in them, and we'll want to retain the cups also. Then we'll put them in the plastic bag with all the special screws are retained. All right, each of the 4 screws is loose and separate. Remember, they each have cups. Bag and tag. Okay, with these 4 off, there's a lot more flexing. We can see the next one is right over here. It appears there's only 6 peripheral doors, and the last 2 are here and here. Let's pull them off. And with those 2 removed, it completely flaps. We'll have to negotiate these connectors. I'll probably have to use both hands off screen for that. Well, yeah, right like that. Let's pull it off. One last portion. I tried to remove the door right now, and I couldn't. The clevis pin receiver on the top. Note how many screws down it is on the cable, and then unscrew it and remove it, and then the cable will remove from the back of the door card, and it will be free to remove out of the car. Since I couldn't really measure it through the top well, what I did was I counted 14 turns to remove the clevis knuckle. Now put that in the safe box, and now we should be able to remove the door panel, and we can. It slipped out. So that is how to remove the door panel. On the driver's side. The passenger side is quite easier on a Ferrari 328 from 1987. Now the last thing to do for disassembly would take the 5 nuts there that hold the bolster onto the door.